Well, good morning, carnivores. So today we're going to be doing a simple pork roast. Now this pork is from the pig that we got from the farmer and butchered ourselves. So there's been no pre-brining in the fridge or anything like that. But because of that, we're going to be using kosher salt instead of Himalayan salt because it absorbs much faster in the meat. And we're going to be doing this in the stovetop roaster. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm just going to take the roast out of the bag. So it's been thawing out in the fridge for, I guess about 5 days. A little longer than I would normally do, but we had so much stuff sitting in there that I had to use for filming videos and stuff. So now these are those giant Ziploc freezer bags. I think these are the biggest ones you can get. So we had to use one of those meat cutting bandsaws to cut our roast down small enough to fit in them. So with the fat cap on the other side, there's no point in putting much salt on that. We do have a little bare spot here. Just going to take this little chunk of meat off. It's just going to burn anyway. And same with these two chunks. So I've got a can of kosher salt here. We just buy this in bulk from the local bulk barn. Now, I don't like the flavor as much of the kosher salt as I do the Himalayan, but because it absorbs so much faster, it's really the answer in this case. So we're putting on a fair amount. It's a big piece of meat. So I'm going to leave the meat in there fat side down. Later on when we go to actually brown it in the oven, the fat side will go up. I'll bring you back when we're ready to foil it. I forgot to add that we're using a glass baking dish, so that it catches all the fat and makes cleanup on the actual stovetop roaster a little easier down the road. We'll bring it back in a little bit. Okay, so we're just checking our temp here and we're sitting at 165, and it's about that temperature within a couple of degrees in most areas. It's starting to throw out a lot of liquid, so that means we've reached the stall. So it's probably going to take another couple of hours for it to get past the stall. So it's been cooking about 7 hours so far. So we're probably looking at a couple more hours. So I'm going to check back on it in a couple hours, and if it's still stuck in the stall, then I'll probably turn the temperature up from 225 to 275. We'll see what it's doing in a couple hours. Thanks to the magic of YouTube, we're going to see you in a minute. I just checked the temperature and it's holding at 165 degrees. So it's only come up 3 degrees in the last couple hours, so it's definitely locked in the stall. So I just turned the temperature up to 275. So hopefully that'll break us out of the stall here in the next hour or so. And then once it hits our 180-ish, 185, then we can wrap it and put it on our 150 degree hold. All right, we'll talk to you in a bit. All right, so we broke through the stall. I'm just gonna actually wrap tin foil right over top of this dish, and we'll put it back in. We reached 175 degrees Fahrenheit. So once we got it wrapped, then we'll put it back in, bring it up to about 185, maybe 190, somewhere in there, and then it'll go into our long 150 degree hold. Okay, so we got it wrapped in tin foil. And you probably won't be able to see it on camera, but I've also added some water. So I poured a quart of water down on the bottom of the roaster here. So it'll just provide a little bit of moisture around everything. Plus it'll keep the bottom from warping. I had water in there earlier. There was still a little in there the last time I checked, but then when I cranked the heat up, it evaporated pretty quick. So we're gonna leave the heat at 275. And we're going to check the temperature probably in about a half an hour. Well, I just checked the temperature and we're sitting at 190 degrees. I'm going to turn it down to 150 and then it's going to sit overnight. So right now it's about 11:30 at night. See you in a bit. Our 18-hour hold at 150 degrees is complete. First thing I'm going to do is get the oven preheating, and then we'll take our roast out and pull off the foil. And then it's going to go in the oven for a few minutes. So I'm going to be setting the oven to 500 degrees, and then it's going to go in for about 15 minutes. So we've set it to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's get our roast out. Just going to grab a couple of pot holders here. I'm going to pull that whole rack out of the bottom. Okay, so we'll pull off our foil. Now, of course, we've got lots of juices in here. So I'm going to grab a bowl and we're going to save these juices. I'm just going to do a quick check here. I'm not really looking to check temperature. I'm just wanting to probe, see how tender we are. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's nice and tender. And we're sitting right at 146 degrees, which is just fine. That's still food safe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this over. Oh, these bones just want to come right off of there. I'm going to gently turn this over. So we've now exposed the fat cap on this. Okay, just going to wait a few more minutes here to let that oven really hit its proper temperature. So by the way, when I set the oven to preheat, I've actually set it to broil. So that's going to give us the heat coming from the direction we want. We don't want to do baking because then that'll continue to start cooking the whole thing, which we don't want to do. We just want to get that fat cap nice and crispy. Well, I think we're pretty close. Okay, so that's going to go in for 15 minutes, maybe a couple minutes more. We'll just check back and see how it looks. When we're getting close, we'll be back in a bit. Whew. Oh, look at that, nice and crispy. So I'm going to see if that bone will slip out. Whew. Look at that, came right out of there. Slices off of here and do a little taste test. Mrs. Fuzzy D is going to come and join us.
Mmm, that is so good. And so tender.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Does not need extra spicy.
No, all we put on that was some salt. Yeah, that came out absolutely incredible. It might seem like a lot of work. It's just, it's a lot of hours sitting there. We spent about 8 or 9 hours on the original cook, and then another 18 hours on that low temperature hold. By doing that, by stopping at 185, 190 degrees, we don't lose that nice, rich pork flavor, and we don't get that change in texture that you often get when it's brought up to the, the full 205 or 206 degrees, and we get that, just that wonderful, rich juiciness and porky flavor. It's absolutely wonderful.
No washed out flavor if you have a lot of water in it.
Yeah, exactly. So when we go to actually serve it up for supper here, I'm going to take some of the juice that I saved, and I'm going to pour it over the meat just to give that little bit of extra richness.
I just drink it.
Well, I mean, that's, I've been known to do the same thing from time to time. So if you enjoyed this recipe, please make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you make sure to catch our future recipes coming out and the other videos we do on this channel. So thanks for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate you being here.
I'm hungry.
So we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.